I want to share my opinion of Aviate Finance. And again, this is just my opinion. You guys can listen to this, make whatever you want out of it. But I was in the Aviate Discord, I was asking questions, and lo and behold, I got muted. And the reason I got muted, I'm not too sure. Josh was answering my questions, and then next thing you know, the next morning, I can't even access anything on their Discord. It looks like they created a nice role for me. So as we take a look at my role here, it's a nice solid dash. And if you're wondering why are these other people the same color as me, well, they don't have any roles, so they have access to the Discord, but I have a nice dash. I'm no longer able to chat in the general chat, no longer able to see anything else than just the announcement and minor announcements. So again, why are they banning me or muting me from their Discord? I was asking questions about their trade logs. I was asking question about who was in charge of the money, who was in charge of moving the money from the contract to the centralized exchange. And I did post this in my Discord here. The last conversation I had in the Aviate general chat was me asking who was in charge of the funds, and this person here, the cat guy, said I asked the same question yesterday. He said he will manage it as Joshua is doxxed, and then I said, so there's only one person managing the funds from the contract to the centralized exchange, and next thing you know, I was muted or banned from this Discord. Now, 9 days ago, I made this video titled how to calculate your earnings with the Aviate Finance project, and this is going into the details as to how to calculate your percentage of the staking contract, because that is essentially what determines the amount of dividends that you will be getting. So Joshua in DMs even told me that he watched my video and he said it was good. I was telling him to rephrase or to not simply just say that if the token price goes up, you're going to get less dividends. And if the token price goes down, people are going to get more dividends, because that's not totally true. And I'll give you a very simple example of this. If we take a look, or if we take the example of me buying 100 Aviate tokens, not putting that in the staking contract, so I am not receiving any dividends. Now, on the other hand, let's say you're buying 100 Aviate tokens, but you decide to go stake that in the staking contract to, of course, generate your USDC dividends. Now, obviously, the only utility, and the reason they're saying this is because the utility of Aviate is to stake it to earn dividends. But there could be some people out there that just want to hold the Aviate token in their wallet, and then when the price goes up, if it goes up, they are just going to sell it. And now people are going to say, yes, there is a 7% tax, but if the price goes up by 90%, well, you're still making 83% after the fact and after you paid that tax. So going back to this example, if I hold my 100 tokens in my wallet, the price goes up, I decide to sell my 100 tokens. And again, remember, I was not staking in the staking contract, so I sell my 100 tokens, I potentially make money. The price of Aviate goes down because I just sold my tokens. Obviously, you guys understand economics, but that is going to impact the price. The price of Aviate goes down a bit, but it's not going to affect the amount of dividends that you're receiving. The reason that is because I did not have an impact on the staking contract. I did not remove my tokens from said staking contract, which did not impact anything. And even if the price of Aviate is going down, you're not going to be making more money because my tokens were never in the staking contract. So that's the discrepancy, and that's why I don't necessarily like the narrative that they push. Yes, I understand that, of course, all of the utility of the Aviate token is to stake, but there could be people out there that do not stake. It's going to impact the price, and it may not necessarily impact the amount of money you get from these dividends. Now, moving on to the trade logs. Unfortunately, I can't show you guys them anymore because, again, I don't have access to the Discord. But from what I remember, there were just snapshots of a bunch of different trades, a bunch of different percentages. Some of them had failed, some of them had resulted in wins. Just a few of them, I think, had lost, but we didn't have any information about the actual stop losses, whether or not they're built-in stop losses. What is the max drawdown of this? Is this going to DCA until the bot wins? I was asking some of these questions. I was asking which centralized exchange are they using? Are they going to be using decentralized exchanges? And I was also asking who was in charge of all of this money, because you have to understand, as you're participating in this, what's happening is that you're putting money in a contract, and then someone has access to that contract and moving the funds over to a centralized exchange or a decentralized exchange to, of course, trade with that money. Now, I honestly understand that that's how the business is run and that's how it needs to happen. But I was asking, well, is it just one person that has access to this money? Is it a multi-sig wallet? And of course, I got muted. But all of that to say is that's another thing I was looking into. And then if we go on to more of the general kind of sentiment I have on Aviate, they are audited and KYC'd by truth seekers. Nothing against them. Joshua is doxed as well, so that's obviously good. The only thing I'm not too keen of is, of course, well, they're partnered essentially with truth seekers, and then truth seekers is essentially promoting this project to their community. I guess it kind of is a conflict of interest in one way, but at the end of the day, it's DeFi, and who really cares about that? That's something I wasn't too sure on. And then the liquidity pool, yes, they have a token, but is it gonna have sufficient liquidity for people to come in and out? I was asking questions about that. Again, not too clear in my opinion. I may have missed information because I'm no longer in the Discord. Then about the bots, they do have Forex bots. I didn't remember seeing any trade logs for these Forex bots. The strategies or their different bots here, from my understanding, this may have changed. They said it was using different leverage, but the same strategy for these different types of bots. So for instance, low risk could be a 2x leverage, medium could be a 5x leverage, high risk could be a 10x leverage. But again, we don't know, and who really knows what's happening? And this truth bot, I mean, of course, Truth Seekers is using this bot. I don't know much about it. I may be in the dark on that. They are potentially making 20 to 40% on that. But again, it just goes to show that they're using the same bot as whoever is behind the KYC and behind the audit. So again, it kind of goes back to this conflict of interest. But again, these are just my opinions. And I was debating making this video, and I decided to make it because I'm just a YouTuber on the internet. I'm just sharing my thoughts on projects, and I'm just sharing my thoughts on this one. Now, I guess the last thing I'm going to share about this one is the fact that we don't necessarily know if there's any security built into this. We only know the founder, and we only know that he's doxed and KYC'd. Now, we've seen other projects with doxed founders, KYC'd people, just rug or leave, and you know, it is what it is. It's still DeFi, it's unregulated. So yes, they talk about this safety fund. In terms of security, I mean, I still feel more comfortable with other projects, but obviously high risk, high reward at the end of the day. That's something that you can decide for yourself. And lastly, they did make a comparison video between a bot subscription and Aviate Finance. Have a look at that. Some of the things I don't necessarily agree with are, of course, the security aspect of it. Is this a legit company? Is Aviate Finance a registered company in the States somewhere or offshore? Where is it? Is there anything that can be done legally if this were to go to absolute shit? Not saying it is. Again, that's just something I am looking into or I have questions about. That's all good. I do agree with some of these things that, of course, there's no fee to enter this bot. You only have to buy a token, hope that there's always liquidity to trade, and hope that, you know, you get a good price and you don't buy high and then eventually the price goes down. Again, it's all speculation at this point, but something else to note is that even though there isn't a fee to buy the token, when you're going to sell, if you want to get out of this project, you are still going to incur a 7% tax. So let's say you put $1,000 in there. When you sell, if you still have $1,000, you're going to incur a $70 loss or sell tax. So understand that. Plus there's price impact. So of course there are benefits of both a bot subscription and a no bot subscription, or this business model that they only make money when investors make money. All that to say is you guys make your decisions at the end of the day. And lastly, if you just wanted to have a look at who's invested in this, you can go onto their contract. It's in their Discord. Go read contract. All donations and donors, you have everybody's wallets and the amount of money that they've donated to this. It's called a donate, but it's the pre-sale. And I compiled a quick list here in a quick Excel. We have a bunch of different addresses, which a bunch of different amounts that they've decided to invest in this. And I was going ahead and seeing who was heavily invested in truth seekers. But then I kind of just stopped myself and I was like, there's no point of doing this. And if you want to, you guys can go ahead and do that. So those are basically my thoughts on Aviate. Again, I am just sharing my opinions on this project. You guys can build your own opinions with your own research. I am just the YouTuber out there trying to do my best to share with you guys my experience with different DeFi projects, hoping to shed light on some of the stuff that I, of course, had questions on. And I'll just leave it as I am muted in the Discord.